Today, I want to talk about entitlement and arrogance. Let me explain. I know that's not the best way to start a video, but kind of have to. So, what if a person went out and bought a guitar, and then the next day bought business cards that said he was a musician, or she, or they, or a person went out and bought ballet shoes and then called themselves a ballerina, or a person bought a paintbrush and called themselves an artist. It would be kind of ridiculous. Now, all these categories are artists through and through, but having never played the guitar, purchasing one, and then the next day calling yourself a musician would be just absurd. Yet here we are as photographers. Because we have cameras that basically do everything for us, everything, it's so much easier to buy the camera and make the business cards and say we're photographers. Now, I know this isn't the case in many of the cases. You know, a lot of people that are on this channel, that watch this channel, are just hobbyists, if you will. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's freaking great. I think it's one of the best hobbies in the world. But, you know, like, what if your hobby was playing guitar or wanted to be playing guitar? You're not going to buy the guitar and then sit in front of your family and start playing. You're going to practice and practice and practice to learn a song first. And you may practice a month to learn one song just to be able to say, I'm comfortable enough to say, I'm going to play this song for you guys. That's my rant for the day on this video is I practice every day with my cameras. And when I tell you every day since 1981, I'm telling you I practice every day. Now, it may not be practical practice where I'm in a studio or actually shooting. It may be just sitting with my camera while I'm watching a TV show. I'll have that camera in my hand and I'm learning everything about it inside and out. See, it takes a certain little level of arrogance and yes, even entitlement to say, the camera does everything. All I have to do is point and shoot. But then when you look at your photos, you go, oh my God, they're not as good as his. And my photos don't look like this because, well, it has to be my gear. I have to buy something new. It's too easy for that. You know, you need to practice every single day with your gear, okay? And if you don't have your gear, you still need to practice because you can take your iPhone or you can take a pocket point and shoot. Now, this GR, I mean, it's fantastic. And to throw it in my pocket and to be able to shoot, I still do this today, and I've literally been shooting since the 80s. I'll go out and shoot, but I won't just delete photos. I'll go through them and go, wow, you know, if I changed this or did this, this photo would have been better. It takes practice. You know, I've said this before on this channel that our brains work in two spheres. You know, you have the analytical and you have the artistic. They don't work together. You know, that whole theory of multitasking, it doesn't work. You know, you're doing one thing or the next. You may be able to switch back and forth really quickly for multitasking, but you can't switch back and forth really quickly if you're an artist and using your analytical side of your brain. So to combat that, you need to know your equipment and you need to know how to use your equipment. You know, something as simple as a light, something as simple as, you know, where is this? You know, I was watching a pro photographer, YouTuber the other day and his partner, and they were trying out a camera, and their camera was a Sony. And it was, you know, it was shocking to me that, you know, this person started using the Sony and goes, oh, you know, I don't know how to turn on eye autofocus. Well, this is your camera. And you don't know where eye autofocus is in the menu. Like, don't tell me you're a professional and not know where one item is, something as basic as eye autofocus, you don't know where to find it on the menu, and this is your camera and you're a professional. Like, you have to know your gear inside and out. And I literally have my camera on me at all times. Or it's next to me and I pick it up constantly. I'll watch a movie and I'll learn that camera and I'll study it. You know, the very first time I saw a gentleman that used Leica, it was the most amazing thing in the world to me. You know, like, he was literally sitting there and he would have us shout out settings, you know, a aperture, a shutter speed, an ISO, and we would shout them out, and he would hand us the camera seconds later, and that camera would be set to that, and he wasn't looking at it when he did it because he knew where everything was. He knew where his last settings were. He knew his camera that well that he didn't have to think. It was just muscle memory changing those settings. You know, artists work weeks and months and years to hone their craft. But photographers have this arrogance and this entitlement to say, well, the camera does everything. All I have to do is point it and push the button, or hold down that button and spray and pray. You know, there's no work put into it anymore. It's just, wow, my photos aren't the best. I need new gear. You know, you're going to find your perfect camera when you learn the camera you have, no matter what it is. The perfect camera is the one you currently own if you knew how to use it correctly. And all that takes is practice. If you don't put in the work, you'll never be where you want to be. You know, you can't, I mean, a dancer dances for months for one performance. And, you know, you can't buy ballet slippers and expect to dance the next day. And if you try and it doesn't work, you can't go out and buy new ballet slippers going, well, those didn't work. I'm going to try the next pair. And you're doing this with photography. You know, put in the work. Make yourself an artist. Don't expect the camera to do everything for you. And if you don't want to take your gear everywhere you go, that's fine. Get a little point and shoot. Pick out your camera from take your iPhone out or your Android and take pictures and go back and look at them. Don't just go, oh, that sucks, and delete it. Find out why that sucks. Put in the work. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. I hope this helps a little bit, but honestly, you know, when I tell you I practice every day, I'm either in studio practicing. I don't care what you have to do. Call a friend and say, hey, let's go. I want to practice shooting. And then take those photos back. Don't ever delete them on the camera. Take them back and look at them on an iPad or on your computer and go, wow, this is really good, or this sucks because, and if I did this, it would have been better. Practice, practice, practice. Become an artist with your gear. It's going to be, believe me, at the end, you're going to appreciate it so much more than just spray and pray. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. You know, if any of you are going to go buy ballet slippers and try to dance the next day, please, you know, send me a video. I want to see it. Otherwise, go practice with your gear and become an artist. Become the artist you want to be with any gear that you possibly have right now. I promise you, after doing this and working and working and working, you'll be able to pick up any camera, any lens, and produce images that you absolutely love and are proud of. Thanks for listening.